Long ago, in the shining kingdom of Avalora, there lived a princess named Seren. She had hair like spun gold and eyes as bright as morning stars. Though she lived in a palace filled with laughter and music, her favorite place was the high tower overlooking the sea. Every evening she would sit by the window and watch the ships drift by, their sails glowing in the sunset. She dreamed of faraway lands, of coral islands and wild adventures. But her father, King Edric, was stern and wise. He loved his daughter dearly, yet feared the dangers beyond the horizon. "The sea can give," he told her, his voice gentle but firm, "but it can also take away." Still, the princess's heart longed for the waves, a silent song only she could hear. One night, a terrible storm rolled in from the deep. The sky turned black, lightning flashed, and thunder roared across the cliffs. It was a storm that shook the very foundations of the castle. From her tower, Seren watched in horror as a ship was caught in the tempest, tossed and broken by the violent waves until it vanished into the churning darkness. At dawn, when the storm had finally passed, she rode her horse to the beach. The shore was littered with driftwood and seaweed, and there, among the wreckage, lay a young man. He was unconscious, his dark hair tangled with salt. But even in his stillness he had an air of nobility. They carried the stranger to the castle, and under Seren's patient care, he slowly awoke. His eyes, when they opened, were the color of the deep ocean just before a storm. "My name is Elias," he said quietly, his voice raspy. When she asked where he came from, his eyes darkened with a profound sadness. "From a kingdom that no longer stands," he replied, and said no more. Over the next days, as he regained his strength, Elias told her stories of his life at sea, of islands made of glass. He spoke not of plunder, but of purpose. She had never met anyone like him. But whispers began to spread through the castle. Some sailors recognized the emblem on his wrecked ship. They said Elias was no simple sailor, that he was the pirate prince, a royal who had vanished years ago after his kingdom fell into chaos. The name sounded dangerous, and fear began to snake through the palace halls. Unable to bear the rumors, Seren confronted him one evening in the castle garden. The moon was high, casting silver light on the roses. "They call you the pirate prince," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Is it true?" Elias did not deny it. He looked at her, his expression unguarded for the first time. "I was once a prince," he confessed. "But when my father's council turned corrupt, they poisoned his mind against me. I tried to stop them from exploiting our people, and for that, they branded me a traitor. I fled to the sea, not to become a pirate, but to protect those who still believed in honor." Seren's heart ached for him. She saw the truth in his eyes, the weariness of a long fight. He was no thief, only a man who had lost everything except his courage. King Edric soon learned of Elias's identity. "You call yourself a prince," said the king, his voice echoing off the stone walls. "Yet your ship flies a pirate's flag. Why should I trust you?" Elias bowed low, showing respect but not fear. "Because I do not steal crowns or gold, your majesty. I only fight those who do. My ship carries medicine and food to coastal villages that have been forgotten by their rulers. I ask not for your trust, only a chance to prove I am not what the world believes," the court murmured. But the king studied him for a long, silent moment. Then his gaze shifted to his daughter, standing nearby, her face filled with a quiet, unwavering hope. The king's heart softened. He saw not a pirate, but a man who had won his daughter's respect. "Then you shall stay," said the king, his voice firm, "and earn your name once more." In the months that followed, Elias proved his worth. He helped the Royal Navy rebuild ships lost to storms and taught the sailors safer ways to navigate the wild waters, sharing knowledge no one in Avalora possessed. Seren worked beside him, her hands learning what her heart already knew. She learned the language of the sea, how to read the stars, tie the strong knots, and listen to the secrets of the waves. The people of the kingdom, once fearful, began to love him. Even the king grew to see that Elias's strength came not from a crown, but from his heart. One bright morning, the king took Seren's hand and led her to the harbor. A new ship, sleek and beautiful, floated on the water. "I once feared the sea would take you from me," he said, his eyes filled with love. "But now I see it brings you wisdom, not recklessness. Go explore the world. Let Elias be your guide, but promise you'll always come home." And so the princess and the pirate prince set sail on their new ship, the Silver Wing. They were not runaways seeking freedom, but explorers carrying peace. With the king's blessing and a vessel built by their own hands, they carried gifts and hope to distant shores, and wherever they went, they left behind stories of kindness and cooperation. Years passed, and tales of their voyages spread across the kingdoms, of storms calmed by courage, of pirates turned to allies, of a princess who ruled both land and sea with kindness and grace. It is said that even now, when the moon is full and the ocean is calm, a silver ship can be seen gliding across the horizon. On its bow stand two figures, one with hair like gold, one with eyes like the deep. Watching over the sea, they tame together, not with force, but with love. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales. Sweet dreams, and see you next time.